Hello, this is Amanda Rodden and welcome back to the Half-Acre Homestead. I wanted to give an updated tour of our vegetable garden and our flower garden that we put in. And today is June 29th. It's been a couple weeks since I last did the previous update. So we have some things that are in bloom and some growth and a lot of vegetables. So let's dive in. Hello, I believe you're a little chickadee. How are you up there? What do you have to say? Yes? You're very pretty. Your friend is over here on the trellis. What are you guys doing? So I have onions and carrots that are doing spectacularly. The onions look amazing, which this is the first time having successful onions. So I'm super excited about how these are turning out. And the carrots are looking fabulous as well. And you can even see a little bit of orange kind of down there. They're gonna be ready to pull soon. It's getting closer. Cucumbers, I feel like they were further along last year, but it could have just been the location change. I still think that this trellis is going to be way better than what I had them on last year, which was over there at the fence. So these are coming up really nicely, and they are already getting little tendrils and everything, and so I fit more in the bed trying to see how they would do. So we shall see. I might end up pulling some or giving them away. Same with a lot of stuff. Just kind of gonna ride it out and see how it does. So here are the Titan sunflowers. And then the corn is also looking amazing this year. It's definitely thriving in this area. So this area is the glass gem corn. And it's really interesting because both this and the onions, I have not experienced growing them firsthand successfully, so it's cool to see how like thick the stalks are. And we have a little buddy there. Hello, little ladybug. Tomatoes. These all, for the most part, kind of self-seeded, and then there were some that I did end up sowing indoors and brought them out here, and they've been doing pretty well, but honestly not as well as the ones that self-seeded. So I've kind of just moved them around a little bit and kept a few more just in case the ones that I sowed indoors didn't end up doing that great. But these guys are Romas in these 3 rows here. And then these are grape tomatoes. And those are looking really good. So, and then we have the sweet corn down here. And then I feel like, oh, here we go. There we go. Maybe that's one of you. No, it's not. It's just another weed. I was getting excited there. I think I've planted a bean seed here like 4 times and I can't get it to come up. So I don't know if like the birds are coming and getting it or what. But these are pole beans. So just your typical green beans. But you can see that this one's already trained and started to climb, which is cool to see. I really want these trellises to be full of green this year, which they weren't last year. And then the loofahs are also coming up nice and strong. So that's that. I will say I don't quite know what's going on with my brassica bed. I'm kind of concerned and confused. I spaced everything out. I've weeded it multiple times, and it's just not thriving. It's just very slow to kind of get started. I pulled all the kale out and spaced it out this year, which is something I didn't do last year. It looks like some of the broccoli or the cabbage and cauliflower might have been like eaten a little bit, like some leaves, so I don't know if that might be hindering it. I'm not quite sure what's eating it, but it's kind of gotten a slow start, and it's kind of funny because the ones that I transplanted over here are actually like way better, like way more advanced than the ones in the bed. So I'm gonna end up pulling these guys out. So we'll see if they keep doing as good as they are right now. The lettuce is looking really good. I'm not gonna bother transplanting and moving things around. We don't eat lettuce that much anyway, so it's kind of for looks, honestly, right now. And I'm also not really a big fan of this lettuce, and thought I had planted a different kind, but I guess I did not. So lesson learned. This was the first year that I planted beets and radishes, and it's been a challenge. This bed has kind of been overgrown and overcome with weeds, and I've tried really hard to kind of keep up with it, and it's just, I think it's choked a lot of it out. And it's possible that I may have weeded some of the actual starts without realizing it. But you can see some of them growing back there and some of them growing here. They're just sporadic and kind of everywhere, and this was not done as well as it should have been. And so I'm going to keep that in mind for next year and try to give a little more attention to these two. This, like I said, this whole bed kind of is having issues, so I don't know what's going on. The spinach like did nothing. There's a couple little ones here and there, but like honestly there's nothing there. This was supposed to be celery, same story. Really hard to tell what was a start and what was weeds, and it just was overcome. And then this area, this is my garlic, and I'm really disappointed in this because I don't know if my dog came in and trampled it. I don't know how it's not getting enough water, if that's the case, because the sprinkler's literally right next to it and it gets, downpoured. So I don't know why this is happening. The only other thing I can think of is that maybe they're ready to pull, but it looks more like a trampling or not enough water to me. So I'm hoping that those still turn out well. And then we had a little surprise. Some pretty little white daisies just popped up here. So I'm leaving those for shows. Then this is a row of Kajari melons. So hopefully those end up producing something we can eat this year, because we had a couple babies and it was way too late in the season and they did not do super well. So then this and the two down there was supposed to be one in the middle and it didn't grow or sprout. These are pumpkins. And then the two weird plants are additional potatoes that popped up from where the potatoes were last year. This row is spaghetti squash, and this row is zucchini. And I'm just really surprised with this bed and the other one, because they're just not doing well this year. I don't know, again, if it's the location change where the zucchini was in the raised bed before and now it's not. It's in the ground, and it's not that it's doing bad, it's just not growing as fast as it did last year, or as vivaciously, I guess. So I remember we were already getting zucchini at this point last year, and I'm not seeing that to be the case. So that's that. Here, this was an experiment where I put onions in half of the bed here to kind of see what would take and compare that to the raised bed, which so far everything that's been potted and in raised beds has done way better than what's been in the ground, give or take. But it just kind of depends. So it's kind of funny though, because the ground cherries are another plant that's self-seeded from last year. So I have them everywhere popping up, and I've transplanted some here and some there, but the ones that I actually planted didn't really want to come up. So they finally started making an appearance, but everything you see here, I mean, it's not even that far. It's not as far along as some of the other ones, but that you might see. There's some in a pot down the way. But yeah, so these are transplants, and like none of them came from the actual seeds I planted in this area. So I guess these transplants are kind of saving me this year. These are the Sun Gold tomatoes. So I planted a few of those. And then here are our jalapeno peppers. And we've got a bunch of them. They're like everywhere. And this was one of the plants that I overwintered and one that still survived. I planted a couple more jalapeno plants. I think these might be it. I don't know. I couldn't tell. It didn't look like anything came up, so I'm kind of crossing my fingers that it's one of them, because both those ones and my bell peppers didn't do anything. So we'll see. This is the banana pepper plant that we bought, and it is starting to produce some little guys, as you can see. So we will end up pickling those. And then here are some more ground cherries that just decided to self-seed, and they're hanging out. So might end up using those because they're looking pretty big and lovely. Again, I kind of marked these thinking these might be the bell peppers, but I don't know. I have not seen really anything that's indicative of pepper starts, except, I don't know. Just kind of letting it be, keeping an eye out. But our big old Brussels sprout plant, we bought this guy, and doing really well, except for the fact that we probably need to get some BT on him. But yeah, so that's cool. That'll be interesting to see. I've never had a Brussels sprout plant, so we'll see how that goes. And then actually, the Brussels sprout plants that I planted from seed are actually coming up really nicely, but they also need some protection because they look like they're getting eaten. So yeah, I'm gauging the space. I have a lot of things way more close together than is probably going to end up staying, but I'm just going to dig everything up that is too in the way, and from that point, I will give it away or move it somewhere else. These guys are the dragon tongue beans. So there are 5 plants here. 5. Yeah. But these are all little self-seeded ground cherries that I tried to pull as many as I could, and apparently still missed. So, but yeah, our potatoes are also looking pretty fantastic, if I do say so myself. These little pot bins are really nice, so I'm excited to see how the potatoes do. But yeah, I just have some pots hanging around with different things, some extra corn. These were, apparently the drainage in that is not too well. But these are extra ground cherries. These are, I think, Romas or grape tomatoes. Those are Sun Gold. Nothing's in that pot. So here we have some fennel that's still making its way up. And then I've cut the asparagus back down. It's not enough to really eat from at this point, and it's still only the 2nd year. So I'm not gathering anything from that yet. And then these are the Job's Tears. We've got the raspberry bush over here that is starting to get some berries on it, but not quite ready to consume. And then a bunch of starts that are hanging on for dear life. My lavender is not doing so hot here. I've watered it a bunch and it's still looking like it's dying. So I don't know if it's just not doing well with the soil or what is going on there. But I do have butterfly peas, and they're getting taller. There's 3 of them here, and I'm looking forward to them crawling up my little trellis. Marigolds have not been doing too hot. They will grow and sprout and die. So I don't know what their deal is. The chamomile has done really nicely, kind of spreading out. And then this rose looked like it was dead. And then there was a little bit of growth on the bottom. And ever since I cut the dead like sticks and branches back, it's just totally taken over and really come back to life. So apparently that's the trick. But it has not worked with my other rose yet. So maybe it's just a trick for this variety. I know you have to prune them. This is the first time I've had roses, so learning curve. And then another peony that didn't get very big this year. This is lavender. And even this has looked like it's kind of dying out, but it does need some water. So get some water on those babies. But this is the other rose that has not had any growth come up. So it might just be dead. But these are Shasta daisies that are coming up for the first time since last year, which they didn't do anything last year, but they are perennial. So they came up again this year. And they are about to bloom soon. And then this was calendula that I guess did not want to do anything either. There were some plants in there, and apparently I missed a day of watering and la-di-da. But then this guy was looking bad, and now he looks like he's coming back. So I don't really know what's going on. Plants are funny. My echinacea has been a little peculiar as well. I did not get these in the ground as soon as I needed to, and these two in particular are lacking because I did not water them right away, but I've given them lots of water since, and it looks like they're starting to come back and do a bit better, so we'll see. And then here is our bee balm, which is also getting very close to flowering. So I'm very excited to see everything kind of fill in a little bit more. So this is the second year with this Annabelle hydrangea that I got from my mom's garden, and it's already looking way more full than it did last year. And it's looking beautiful. Hydrangeas are my absolute favorite. So I'm super excited about that. And then these hostas have filled in absolutely gorgeously, and they really need to be split at this point, but they're just, they filled in so nicely. We got a little hummingbird feeder that I put up a few days ago, and I have not seen any hummingbirds come to it yet. But oh my gosh, these lilies, they are stunning me. They have come up and filled in so beautifully. They are gorgeous. This is one of the hibiscus plants that I overwintered, and it's still alive, but it like does not, it has bloomed a few times. It bloomed like in March too, when it was starting to get warm, but even with the really hot weather, it's not really doing a whole lot. I think I've had 2 blooms since I put it out here, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm a little disappointed with that. But yeah, so I did cut my grass back in the spring, and I think that's the key. I just need to cut it all the way down, and then it'll grow back, because it's still not looking that great, neither one of them on the ends, but at least it's coming back way more than it did last year. So, and then all of these hostas like really got dug up and scratched with the chickens last year, but they still came back. This one's not doing so great because it's right by like this heat thing that comes out. That's for our laundry room. So I think it just like pushes a bunch of heat on it, and then it gets really dried out. But yeah, all of these hostas are still doing pretty well. They probably could use some water, and that might be why, between that and the chickens, just not in the best condition, but they still came back, which is good. And then down here I've had, this is kind of like my neglected flower bed. I really was hoping to have things come up, and they might still be coming up just later in the season. But I've got some snapdragons on the side here. And then there are some dahlias and some hollyhocks. But the hollyhocks, not sure. There's something that's coming up right there, and then there's something here, and then something here. So those are either, these are all weeds, but those are either the dahlias or the hollyhocks. But I'm not sure if I'll see the hollyhocks this year because they didn't do so well in transport. So, but we do have a pretty little, I forget what you are. What are you? Are you a daylily? You look so pretty with my house color. Oh yeah, that's the other thing we did. We painted our house blue. Hello. So we moved our meat chickens in here, and we're starting to slowly transition them out into the coop. Here's one of our turkeys. And you'll also see that we have Freckles, the duck, in here. She's awaiting to be let loose too. But we have both of our turkeys out. Hello, Henrietta. Hello, girl. Hello, babies. Can I come say hello to you? Hi. Hello. Look at all those flies. Ooh. This is our little turkey. Here's Henrietta. Hello, little girl. Hello, sweet girl. Rosella. We have a white rock bathing, sunbathing over there. And there's Rambo. Yes, hello. And then I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to name my Araucana. She looks like a hawk. And I just don't know. So, she's nameless for the time being. Yes, hello. Yes, what do you have to say? Do you want me to pet you? Is that what you want? You want pets? But yeah, we actually had another predator attack, and it was a family of raccoons, and we lost all of our, we lost the Rhode Island Red, baby Rhode Island Red, and other Araucana that was in her group, and then we also lost all the guinea fowl, and then when we put the meat chickens in, we lost at least one of them, and I'm trying to see where the other two are. They might be underneath the coop. They've been hiding out in there. No. 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 I'll show you who's boss. I will. Don't make me do it. Rambo's being a jerk lately. He is. Henrietta, will you protect me? Yeah, I know. He's been attacking everybody. Rude. Rude. But anywho. So, yeah, I have to find the other two meat birds. Figure out what's going on with them. Hi. So, I think we need to have a little chat-see. Basically, some stuff's going down. When we decided that we were going to start homesteading 2 years ago now, it feels like it wasn't that long ago, we decided that we were going to have a long-term plan of moving south to Tennessee to pursue this dream of having a large piece of land that we can homestead on, and also so that we could have like a tactical ranch and a cattle ranch, and just kind of do like the homesteading, farming, sustainability, self-sufficiency type thing. And I've always had a really big passion for Tennessee. So some things have come down the pipeline, and it's looking like we are actually going to be moving to Tennessee a lot sooner than originally anticipated. And by a lot sooner, I mean within the next couple months. So that is really big and really exciting news, and I'm getting attacked by mosquitoes. But I am it's very bittersweet because I love Michigan. I love my home. I love my family. I really don't want to leave this property. We have put a lot of work into it, and I am excited to see how it grows up. I mean, even just this year, I'm not sure if we'll even get to see the end of the season, or I'll get to see the end of the season, because it's likely that I will be moving down before Jonathan and the boys. So I will probably not be here to see everything come to fruition and see everything kind of play out, and that's really sad. But it's also really exciting that we are on a new adventure and a new journey, and we are one step closer to fulfilling this big dream we have. And so I'm really excited to be able to take you along this journey as we get a new piece of property, as we make the move down there and make this transition, because I know that there are so many out there who have this dream too, where they want to be able to purchase a piece of land and make this transition for themselves for homesteading. So we are doing this, and we are excited to share how we're doing it, and what we're doing to make this a successful transition and adventure. So I'm very excited to be able to share that with you, and hopefully you guys find it helpful and inspiring and insightful as well. So I wanted to share that piece of news with you. It is going to be very interesting as we transition away from the Half-Acre homestead and into a piece of property that is going to be able to meet all of our initial dreams and plans and the next stepping stone. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me on this tour and seeing everything we've done so far, and how our yard and our homestead has come together over the last couple years on this channel. And so I appreciate you watching and sharing these moments with us, and taking the journey with us. So we will see you next time as we begin this transition. So thanks. We'll see you later.